And now we've made it to Thursday. I am Ryan, and this is Michigan Storm Chasers. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to focus on today's severe weather and storm threat, as well as a couple risks for your Friday and even Saturday, perhaps Sunday as well. Let's go ahead and dive in. Before I get started, today's video is sponsored by Katz Roofing and Siding. Katz is based out of the Potterville, Lansing, greater area. They cover roofing, siding, window, and gutter needs for your residential homes. Katz number is 517-485-9886. And as always, thank you to Katz for sponsoring us here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Per the SPC, we have actually a couple areas in a severe weather risk today. Area number 1 is up in the central part of the UP by Marquette and Iron Mountains. It is a level 1 out of 5, marginal as we call it, dark green color. Also, if you zoom way in to the West Michigan shoreline area, Ottawa, Muskegon, and parts of Allegan County are in a marginal risk. It very slightly brushes up there against that West Michigan shoreline. So, 2 areas to monitor today. Outside those 2 areas, the entire state of Michigan is in a general thunderstorm risk. We could see some pop-ups through the afternoon and evening hours. Now, hazards for today. Damaging wind is going to be your primary risk here. It is a 5 to 14% chance of seeing a damaging wind gust within 25 miles of your location. Anywhere in that brown-red color there. If you're in the white color, that is less than 5% chance. Large hail, a concern up there in the UP as well, 5 to 14% chance within 25 miles within that color, brown, red color up there. And again, if you're in white, it's less than 5%. Currently, there is no risk for a tornado. It is less than 2% per the SPC. Now, going into the forecast models here for today, we're going to start today off on the drier side, but as we move toward that mid-afternoon time frame, 3, 4, 5, peak heating as we like to call it here, we're going to start seeing some storms pop up. This model says up in the central part of the UP where that risk is, but also if we continue this into the evening hours, we're going to see some pop-ups there across southeast Michigan, perhaps northern lower up by the Gaylord and Houghton Lake areas as well. So scattered to widely isolated pop-up storms are possible today, and with those storms, some which could be strong or severe, primarily in that central UP in the very far western part of the state. But as always with the summertime pop-up storms, we can never rule out a severe storm somewhere else in that general thunder risk. So we do have 2 areas to monitor a little bit more closely, but if we have a pop-up storm over on the east side of the state, damaging wind, potentially a very low risk for that, can never rule that out. All right, now moving into the evening hours, we're going to see the storms will die off as we get closer to midnight here. Let's go ahead and run this back here and go hour by hour for you guys. Now, again, I'm going to say this every video. Models can get us close, but never exact. So don't take the time frames as 100% surefire forecasts. Just a general idea here. Peak heating starts right around 1, 2 o'clock. So let's go ahead and do here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and then midnight. And by midnight, those storms are out of our state. Now, moving into the Friday time frame, this model says we could have some pop-up storms overnight into the Friday morning time frame. This model here paused. It is now 6 a.m. in the morning, Friday morning. We have some rain ongoing there across the West Michigan area. And as we move toward that noon time frame, here's 10, 11, and noon Friday, rain showers continue across the west part of the state. And as we get toward Friday afternoon, more pop-ups are possible. And as such, the SPC again has the entire state of Michigan in a general thunderstorm risk for your Friday. There is a very, very small, tiny sliver of the western UP in a marginal risk, as well as Isle Royale is in a marginal risk as well. So there is a potential for a strong, perhaps severe storm up in the western UP again. And as always with pop-up storms, we can never rule out an isolated strong, perhaps severe storm elsewhere. It's just a much higher probability where you see the dark green color, or in this case, the yellow color way over here in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Sorry, just Minnesota. So overall, pop-up storms possible next 2 days, and that continues into Saturday, where we have a bigger threat for severe weather. We have a marginal risk for almost the entirety of the UP, minus over by Sault Ste. Marie, Mackinac areas. We also have a level 2 slight risk pushing very closely to our UP border by Iron Mountain. We're going to watch that carefully. Some more organization of storms may occur on Saturday. And then as we get towards Sunday, that risk, there's no risk currently for the SPC, but not going to be shocked that risk shifts further into the southern part of the state toward the more populated areas. So overall, next 3 or 4 days, as forecasted a couple days ago, storm chances, humidity is going to increase, and yes, a couple storms could be strong, perhaps severe, over the next couple of days across the state. With that said, the long-term look at temperatures, we're still looking at those upper 80s and low 90s for a couple days here before we drop back off into the mid to upper 80s for your next week time frame. But in the meantime, it's hot, it's humid, and it's going to be stormy here across the state. Let's hope we get some rain in much needed areas, and let's hope we can avoid the majority of severe weather as well. With that said, a final note, any storms that could pop up are going to be slow moving in nature, so flash flooding could be a potential possibility across localized areas. And always, I want to mention this one more time, with pop-up storms, not everybody's going to see a storm. They're pop-ups. We can't predict when, exactly where they're going to happen, but the entire state next couple of days here will have potential for pop-ups anywhere in the state. But just keep that in mind. Not everybody's going to see rain or a storm here. So it's a potential. Potential's keyword there. It's not a promise. All right. With that said, I'll catch you guys back on here tomorrow for another update video. We'll see how the severe weather forecast looks for tomorrow, as well as Saturday and Sunday for that matter. You guys stay safe. Enjoy your day. We'll catch you guys later today, if need be, for coverage of severe weather here in Michigan.